During my husband's memorial service, while my son stood beside the casket pretending to mourn, my phone buzzed with a message. I'm alive. Don't trust them. I almost ignored it as a cruel prank. Then a second message arrived. A photo. A hidden compartment inside Daniel's office desk. Beneath it were 6 chilling words. The real documents are inside. My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the phone. The minister was delivering the final blessing as I stood in front of my husband's casket. The chapel was silent, except for soft sobs from distant relatives. Beside me stood my 2 sons, Marcus and Owen. They looked sad, but not devastated. Not like sons who had just buried their father. The message came from an unknown number. Evelyn, that isn't where I am. My heart stopped. I stared at the polished casket, then back at my phone. My fingers trembled as I typed. Who is this? The response appeared almost instantly. It's Daniel. Don't trust our sons. A cold wave swept through me. Marcus noticed my expression. Mom, are you all right? I locked the screen immediately. Just feeling a little faint. He smiled. A strange smile. Not comforting. Calculating. The kind of smile someone gives when making sure a plan is working. Owen stepped closer. We'll stay with you tonight, Mom. You shouldn't be alone. It sounded caring, yet somehow it felt like a warning. Throughout the memorial, people embraced me. Daniel was a wonderful man. Your boys will take care of everything. You're lucky to have them. I nodded politely, but inside I kept hearing one phrase. Don't trust our sons. According to the official story, Daniel had suffered a fatal heart attack while working late at his company headquarters. I never saw it happen. By the time I arrived, emergency crews were already leaving. The paperwork had been signed. The funeral arrangements had begun. Everything had happened far too quickly, and now someone claiming to be my dead husband was sending me messages. That night, after everyone left, I returned alone to our estate outside Cedar Ridge. The house felt different, empty, watching me. A third message appeared. This time it was a photograph of Daniel's walnut desk. A red circle highlighted the bottom corner. Press there. Open it only when you're alone. I hurried upstairs to his study. My pulse thundered in my ears. I pressed where the photograph indicated. A soft click echoed through the room. A hidden compartment opened. Inside was a sealed envelope, a flash drive, and a handwritten letter addressed to me. The moment I recognized Daniel's handwriting, tears filled my eyes. Evelyn's hands trembled as she unfolded the letter. My dearest Evelyn, if you're reading this, then the people I feared most have already made their move. Months ago, I discovered that Marcus and Owen had accumulated enormous debts. At first, I paid them quietly, believing they had simply made poor decisions. But then I overheard a conversation that changed everything. They weren't trying to save themselves. They were planning to take everything I owned. I began recording meetings, collecting documents, and moving copies of important files into places only you could find them. If anything happened to me suddenly, I wanted you to know the truth. Evelyn pulled the flash drive from the compartment. Her phone buzzed again. You need to leave the house now. Before she could respond, headlights swept across the study window. Someone had arrived. She peeked through the curtains. A black SUV rolled into the driveway. Marcus and Owen stepped out. Her heart pounded. How had they known she was there? The front door rattled violently. Evelyn, Marcus shouted. We need to talk. Then came the sound of a key entering the lock. They still had copies. Evelyn rushed downstairs through the back hallway and slipped out into the darkness. An old sedan sat waiting behind the hedge. A man in his 60s leaned across and opened the passenger door. Mrs. Parker? She nodded. Mr. Parker asked me to help if this day ever came. Who are you? My name is Samuel. I worked security for your husband for 20 years. Evelyn climbed inside. The car pulled away just as Marcus emerged into the backyard. His angry shout echoed into the night. Neither spoke for several minutes. Finally, Samuel handed her a small laptop. The drive, with shaking fingers, Evelyn inserted it. Hundreds of files appeared. Bank transfers, property records, secret recordings. One folder was marked, Watch First. She clicked it. Daniel appeared on the screen. If you're seeing this, something went wrong. I discovered that Marcus and Owen forged signatures and moved company money into shell accounts. When I confronted them, they begged for forgiveness. But later I learned they had contacted doctors and lawyers asking how quickly a spouse could be declared mentally unfit after losing a husband. I feared they might come after both of us. The screen went black. For the next several hours, Samuel drove while Evelyn reviewed file after file. By dawn, she understood the horrifying truth. Her sons had been planning for years. The funeral, the paperwork, the rush to control the estate. None of it had been accidental. Then she discovered something unexpected. A second folder. The truth about me. Inside was another video. Daniel looked exhausted. Evelyn, there is one final secret. The messages you're receiving are not from me. I arranged them before my death. A trusted technology consultant created a delayed messaging system. If certain events occurred after my death, the messages would be sent automatically. So no, my love, I am not alive. But if these messages reached you, then my plan worked. The following week changed everything. Using Daniel's evidence, authorities launched an investigation. Hidden accounts were uncovered. Forged documents surfaced. Witnesses came forward. Marcus and Owen insisted they were innocent, but the evidence was overwhelming. Months later, Evelyn sat alone on a bench overlooking a lake Daniel had loved. A final email arrived. For Evelyn. My darling. If you're reading this, then you've survived the hardest part. I know you feel betrayed. I know your heart is broken. But do not let their choices destroy the life we built. Remember the years of laughter, the road trips, the dancing in the kitchen, the terrible fishing trips where we never caught anything. Remember us before the darkness. Because in the end, love was the only thing they could never steal. Evelyn looked across the water as the sun began to set. For the first time since Daniel's death, she smiled. The pain was still there. The betrayal was still there. But so was the love, and that was something nobody could ever take away. The end.